What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Bricks and Toys, and the last episode of Bricks and Toys for the month of October. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing well. For myself, today, there was only one person doing deliveries instead of the normal two, and let's just say I got teabagged at work all freaking day long. You guys have ever taken an 8-hour or longer road trip, and by the time you get out of the car after driving to your destination and you're just sitting there going, yeah, that's how I feel. So I'm a little exhausted, but today is the cutoff to get this video done. It has to be out tomorrow on the 28th when you guys are watching it. And yeah, it's been fun getting here, but we have a video today, and it's a video that we do, well, every 3 to 6 months at this point. And it is our collection tour, everybody. So we're going to go not just here in the studio, but we're going to go all throughout the house because I have Lego on Lego on Lego on Lego. And if you guys like a good collection, well, you're going to want to stay tuned because, well, I like to think even though we've had to sell a lot to survive and to adapt, I still have a pretty dang good collection. On a quick, really funny note to get this video started, I did want to show at least you guys, because it's somebody, these really cool stuffed animal toys that I recently picked up at my local Target. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I talk a lot about mental health on the channel and stuff. I'm very open about it. I know the internet's not the safest place to talk about our demons, but you know what? Who else is going to listen? Just spit it out into air and hope for the best. And I found these two things, and in case you guys haven't seen these, I just want to show them to you guys really quick because, well, we may need some emotional support to get through this video. One of the things is called the Emotional Support Pickles, and each one of these 5 little dudes in here has a name and a personality. You know, some of them have sunglasses and a smiley face and an open face and, you know, feminine expressions, and same thing over here. We have the Emotional Support Dino Nuggies. And again, they have similar expressions to that of the pickles. Honestly, the personalities between these 5 and these 5 are identical. They just copy and paste. But one's pickles, one's Dino Nuggies. I don't know. I saw these at Target. I thought they were so freaking funny because, you know, mental health issues and stuff. I just want to share that with you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into the studio, the kitchen, the hallway, the living room, and the bedroom. And I think, oh yeah, and the bathroom. Yikes. I think that's all but 2 general rooms in my entire house. I'm leaving out my first bathroom and my kids' room, which also has Lego, but, you know, that's their stuff. Leave them out of it. So one last little detail on why this video is coming out last minute, besides the fact that I was just exhausted this weekend and took the weekend off. I actually bought a light that goes on top of my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and I really hope that that light helps you guys see in all the dark little nooks and crannies and stuff around my house. And I really hope that this video's production quality comes out a lot better than, say, you know, the prior tours of where it's just so dang dark you guys can't see anything. And one last note, like I said, I did work today, so if I get any dates wrong, if I get anything wrong, cut me some dang slack. I've been working overtime at work. I've been busting my butt. I've been trying to pay for that $1,000 Death Star. No, I'm just joking. Pay for life in general, guys. So let's get to work. Okay, so before we dive into the Star Wars, which is what everybody loves, let's just go through these $50 to $65 Technic cars. I say the prices because, well, they started off at $50 and now they're about $65. We have them on this wall by the window. We have them on this wall by the window. And we also have them up here. We have the Jeep hanging down. You guys have seen that before. And we also have them tucked off to the side. But don't worry, there is more Technic $50 to $65 cars and more floating around the house. Now, hiding out behind all these helmets, there are some City F1 sets. just brand new in box. But these are all my helmets besides the Droideka chilling out over there. For the helmets, we have the Bush, we have Cody, we have Rex, we have the Dark Trooper, the Mandalorian, the Red 5, the Scout, Darth Vader, Jango, Stormtrooper, and TIE Fighter Pilot. And then we do have Kylo chilling out right there next to Kylo Ren's ship, next to Kylo Ren's MIDI scale, next to the Acclimator MIDI scale, Home 1 MIDI scale, the Executor MIDI scale, Invisible Hand MIDI scale, with an added minifigure of General Grievous. Then we do have a microfighter of Chewbacca next to the Millennium Falcon MIDI scale with an added minifigure of Han Solo, next to the Tantive 4 with an added minifigure of Princess Leia. Then we do have a microfighter with the Han Solo, and we do have the giant-ass Concorde just stuffed up in there. Coming up around here, we do have Jabba's sail barge with all of its minifigures, and the minifigures looks like it's trying to take a dive bomb. Don't know how they got shoved like that. This is up high, and these shelves are secured. Wonder what that's all about. And we do have the display plaque to it right there with Jabba on it. Behind that, we do have the 2018's Ferrari Speed Champion pack and the 2008 Speed Champions Mustang shoved up in there. Now, I'm not going to move my ladder too much because I'm not on a ladder. I'm on an office chair, and I don't want to fall and break my ass. But over there, we do have the 2023 as well as the 2024 TIE Interceptor with a Blacktron Cruiser promo, and kind of hidden back up, and there is another space promo. And then I do have the off-brand coffee cup with all of the Advent Calendar builds from last year on it, as well as a poly bag and a Advent Calendar TIE Interceptor shoved up there. And that is our first row of all of our Star Wars. Now let's get the hell off this chair and start looking at the shelves. Starting down on this shelf, we do have our diorama shelf with some brickheads spread in here. The dioramas are of the Trash Compactor, the Pod Race, and the Trench Run. And the brickheads are of Padme and Darth Maul. And there's the Anakin brickheads, and right behind him is Dagobah and its training. And then we do have the Emperor's Throne Room diorama, as well as the indoor diorama, and our last brickhead so far, and that is going to be of Palpatine. Coming up here, we do have a microfighter build of a Kylo Ren shuttle, a old piece of Indiana Jones from 2008 that I recently acquired, Kylo Ren shuttle with minifigures, BB-8, and then we do have the Hyena droid bomber right there, and then we do have all of our brickheads. And just to name a few, we basically have R2-D2, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, a Qui-Gon, a Mace Windu. We also have a Tusken Raider back up in there. We also have Queen Amidala, and we do have Jar Jar Binks, just to name a few. Then coming up here, we do have our OG Landspeeder from 1999, as well as our UCS Landspeeder with an Advent Calendar Landspeeder back there. And then we have the recently featured MTT. And then we do have a Tri-Wing. Coming over here, we do have our Chewbacca, as well as the buildable droid pack of R2-D2. We got more of those floating around here somewhere. And then we do have our Yoda with our light-up lightsaber. Coming over here with the theme of buildable characters, we do have our battle droid with Stap, an R2-D2 unit with C-3PO. Behind C-3PO is K-2SO. And then we do have Wicket. Also, on this shelf, we do have another one of those buildable droid characters, as well as some special UCS GWPs shoved back up in there, as you guys can see. And then we do have our UCS AT-ST. Coming over here with the Haunted Kitty Cat, we do have our UCS TIE Fighter. Love this set. As well as our UCS Jango Fett Starship. And then we do have our Jango Fett helmet right next to it. With some more Boba Fett stuff, we have the mech. And we do have his Starfighter from a few years ago. And his Microfighter. And then stuffed way back up in there is more of those little collectible coins you get with the UCS sets. Coming on down, we do have an AT-ST helmet. Along with Grogu, at this point called the Child. We have our Star Wars logo, and we do have a poly bag of a Snow Fighter. And then we have another customizable buildable droid of Chopper, as well as Chopper back there, and of the Ghost and Phantom. It is Halloween time, that's why there's Halloween decorations up here. On a shelf that has another Halloween decoration on it, we do have the 2013 Republic Gunship, with minifigures, with a little Advent Calendar build of it back there. Then we have Obi-Wan Starfighter, and then we do have the new microfighter of Plo Koon. And coming over here, we do have the Republic tank. And then we do have the Torrent behind General Grievous's brickhead right there. Going through this shelf, it's mostly Clone Wars era. We do have the interceptors of Obi and Anakin, a poly bag of a Millennium Falcon, and the tank right there. And then we do have our promo of our transport back there. And then we have Yoda's Starfighter there, as well as the Rebuild the Galaxy Starfighter. And then we have Anakin's right there with a poly bag in one. Continuing that theme, we have Ahsoka's Interceptor, Captain Rex's Microfighter down there. And then we do have this Clone Wars era tank. Forgot what that one's called. Be easy on me, guys. And then we do have the Commander Cody Brickheads, as well as the Ark. And then we have another one of those rebuildable droids with the Stormtrooper sketches with a Luke Skywalker mech shoved in there. Coming on down, we do have the Bad Batch shuttle, and then we have Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator. We have the clone GWP from a little while back. We have Grogu, and then we do have the Battle of Peridia, if I remember that name correctly. Coming over here to our minifigure micro build type shelf, we do have stuffed back up in here the microfighters of the Mandalorian, the N1, and the Razor Crest, as well as the N1 playset. Coming down here, we do have the brickheads of Ahsoka with Cassian's starship from the latest Andor season. Then we do have the Duel on Mandalore shoved back there, as well as the Mandalorian Battle Pack, the $45 Ridiculous Battle Pack, and also Grogu's Escape set. And then we do have Paz Vizsla's Last Stand with the battle pack that came with it, shoved all in there. Then lastly up here we do have the Imperial Dropship and the Rebel Speeder. In this little narrow shelf down here we do have Ahsoka's shuttle, and then the Dark Trooper attack, as well as the 2018 X-Wing. And then we have the Star Destroyer with a Star Destroyer Advent Calendar build. And then we do have the Sarlacc Pit. And then coming down to the last big shelf, we do have the 2021 AT-AT Walker with the Imperial Shuttle, the old school R2-D2 with the 50-year Lucasfilm anniversary, a polybag Imperial Shuttle, and we do have the AT-ST Raider from The Mandalorian. And then we do have the Imperial Probe Droid all shoved in there. Wrapping up Star Wars, we can see the Tantive 4 hallway, as well as a Luke Skywalker brickhead that's backwards, and a polybag X-Wing. We also have the Luke Skywalker and the AT-AT microfighters with the 2021 X-Wing. And then we have all of our old school Imperial sets, the Dropship, the Interceptor, and the TIE Bomber, as well as the new TIE Bomber, and a microfighter of a TIE Interceptor bomber thingamajig, and a polybag of the First Order AT-AT type walkers. Speaking of First Order, we do have a Sith TIE Fighter down here, as well as an old school TIE Fighter, the Death Star 2 GWP from a little while back, and a custom colored Jedi TIE Fighter based off of the, well, Sith one that I made. And then we do have the last Millennium Falcon right down here. Now let's get into some other stuff. Coming up on this shelf, we have the Atari with all of its little side builds. We have the Happy Snails, we have San Francisco, and we have the arcade machine and a bottle of super glue. Then we have the minifigures to the Millennium Falcon, and then we have the NES system with the TV and the Batman cowl. Shoved up in here is a bunch of city stuff like the food truck, the donut truck, the burger truck, the slushy truck, a random cart, a Lego truck, and a space GWP. That's a busy shelf. Kind of like the same theme as the one below, but we have the Indiana Jones escape, we have the city police car, we have the random taxi, we have the random Land Cruiser, and we have the GWP moving truck. Then coming up, we have our Halloween minifigures, as well as Groot with the mixtape. We have the GWP building block, as well as Rocket. And we have Pac-Man Arcade. Now let's kick it off with our Speed Champions. We're almost done with this section, guys. And with the Speed Champions, we have a mixture of old stuff as well as GWP sets put in there. And then we have all of 2019. Then on this shelf, we have a mixture of 21 and 22 Speed Champions with a 25 with the Suki's car right there. And then we do have some 25 Speed Champions in here, as well as some 24. And then let's walk over to the other side. Okay, right here on this shelf, we have the 2020 Speed Champions, as well as the 21 Speed Champions. And then we have the 23s and some of the 24s right down there. And that's all of our Speed Champions. I do have every single one in the years mentioned, besides the ones up on that double shelf over there. So that's why I didn't point out every single car. Coming all the way down here, we do have the Tumbler. And then we have the GWP record player, as well as the City Lego truck, Las Vegas, that I reconfigured to be more accurate to the actual strip, and the F1 truck. Coming over here to my superheroes, we have the Captain America and Black Widow bikes. We have the War Machine mech. We do have the Spider-Man battle with the Statue of Liberty head. And then we have Spider-Man's mask, Miles Morales' mask, Iron Man's mask. And then we do have the Batwing. And then we do have the classic TV series Batmobile. And then we have the new Batman Forever Batmobile. Moving up to some Harry Potter, we have Hagrid's Hut. We have the Dark Forest sets of like Aragog and the polybags and all of that. We have the buildable figures of Harry and Hermione, as well as Buckbeak, the Mandrake, and the little side build. And then finally, finishing up in the studio space, holy goalie, we have the Nintendo section of the question mark block, Piranha Plant. We have the Mario character with Yoshi, and then we have the Bowser's Muscle Car, as well as Bowser right there. And then we do have a quick little poster, and we have our stuffed Lego characters, and we have the Galaxy, as well as Tales of the Space Age. Into the kitchen, let's go. Into my kitchen, we have the original orchid, as well as the new lavender plant. And then right behind the derpy bat that I got from Target, we have the ukulele and some type of weird 3-in-1 build that is related to, well, this red panda. You can really see that light working on my camera. And then we do have the radio, as well as the Creator Astronaut, and the bonsai plant, or whatever the hell it's called. Okay, with what that zoom do, we have our Harry Potter floating shelf with the new privet drive and the Ford Anglia. And then we have Hedwig, as well as Diagon Alley. And then right next to Diagon Alley, we have the Sorting Hat, the Night Bus, and the Burrow. And then lastly, we have Hogsmeade. And then we have a little bit of Dead Space. And then next to the Dead Space, we have the Endurance, as well as the Ideas Steamboat. And then we get into our building corner with the Daily Bugle. And then we have the diner with a rebrickable of the Friends condo. And then we have the police station, a rebrickable of the Harry Potter. And then we have the Boutique Hotel, the Jazz Club, a rebrickable Lego store, and then we have Two-Door Corner. And then we have the buildable characters of Simba, of course Luxo Jr., the Mega Bloks Pikachu. We have Lucky, the 101 Dalmatian, as well as the Minions, and we have Toothless. Coming on down to our car row, we have all of the Icons vehicles, including the Countach, Corvette, the Land Rover, Camaro, Vespa, the Back to the Future DeLorean Time Machine, the T2, the 911 Porsche, the farm truck, the two Fiats, the Mustang, the Aston Martin 007, the VW Bug, the Ferrari F40, the Mini Cooper, and the T1 camper van. Then really hard to see behind the Halloween decorations and my other crap is going to be the Insect Collection Butterfly, the vending machine, and then we have the Meditation Garden shoved back in there, as well as our Jaws, Snack Shack from Bricklink, the Magic of Disney, and then we do have my mock of the Lilo and Stitch house and the Happy Plant. Coming down into this cubby hole, we have some collector Lego items, as well as one of the Insect Collection. We do have the Creator 3-in-1 Kitty Cat. There we have my 1989 Batmobile. And then over here we have another Insect Collection, as well as the Lego Ideas Polaroid. Now just giving you guys a fair look at all of the cars. I did forget to mention the set number 40252, new in box, which is a small version of the VW Bug. But there is all of the cars. There we go, with nice and good lighting and up close. Next to all those cars, we do have all 10 of the F1 Speed Champions on the Wicked Bricks plate, screwed to the wall. Love that a lot. Coming down into here, we have our collection of our Disney 100 minifigures. And then we have our Avengers Tower. Still looking wonderful, like the day we originally debuted it on the channel. We have the Disney Celebration Train, the rebrickable Up House, more of the Avengers Tower, and then we have the beautiful Disney 100 Castle, as well as a Disney 100 GWP. This is kind of where Disney comes to die, I guess, or I guess hide, because also hiding we have the UCS Razor Crest, still looking wonderful, and then we have the Rebuild the Galaxy Dark Millennium Falcon, and then we have the Toy Story train kind of shoved in here. Cats and Halloween decorations do not treat this area very kind. But this is Mos Eisley Cantina hidden in here. Also in my living room is my collection of Star Wars minifigures in a case. Coming on down to here, we have some Halloween decorations and fall decorations, such as the treehouse, the A-frame cabin, the little Halloween truck we just did a short on, and then we do have the Nightmare Before Christmas Lego Ideas set. And last but not least, we have Max Verstappen's F1 Technic car to finish out our living room. Up here we have a GWP of the fireworks. Then we come down here to Green God's Bank and the vault combined with Dobie, and a old GWP still lights up even a year later. Then we have our Lucky Cat bamboo plant, and for all you wondering, this is where the Death Star has come to live, right below Obi-Wan's last stand, the Thomas Kincaid reprint picture that I have and I love so much. Such a fitting place to put it. But anyway, that's our UCS Death Star. And then we have our Game Boy, another GWP Halloween, with our Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship, aka the Black Pearl. And then up here we do have a bunch of random minifigures and random old school Lego stuff that I recently acquired. And we do have the GWP of Jack's Compass hiding out behind the Game Boy. Coming down here, we have, for one, the Orient Express in a Wicked Bricks case, as well as the Mario Kart in a Wicked Bricks limited edition case. Actually, both of these are limited edition cases. We have the Ecto 1 with the upscaled Octen and regular minifigures. We have Cruella's car, more Halloween frickin' decorations, and we have Wally and Eve with the Shelby and the Batmobile all tucked up in here. Down here on this shelf, we just have the promo of the Lego Idea Flying Car with some more Lego City sets and the GWP of Sonic. I can't put any sets down here anymore as the cats like to wrestle and just, well, plow through everything. Now, I did just want to give you guys one last look at my living room and how I did the shelving. I just redid all of this shelving just about a week ago. I made one solid row of all of the cars, so that is different than before. And I did take this top shelf and make it nice and even, almost 360 all around the room. Really proud of my work, and all it really takes is a good $50, $60 laser from Lowe's to get them like this, in case you guys are wondering. Now coming into my hallway, where I have all of my cases of minifigures. We have the Spider-Man, then we have the F1 cars, and then we have our Marvel Series 2, I believe. I forgot which series of the CMFs these are, but I'm sure you guys can remember for me. And those are all in cases, and that kind of just looks up nice and high down my hall like that. And then it does come down into the Batman 3-in-1 art set right here, looking awesome. Now in my bedroom, here's the Technic section of where these cars have came to live. We have the Ferrari, the Skyline, the old Land Rover, the Bronco, the Fast and Furious Charger, as well as the Aston and the Ford. And then we have our two expensive big boys of the Lambo and the McLaren with the McLaren P1 sign down there. And also hidden in my room is the G-Wagon Technic set hidden behind a door. That's lovely. Hanging out over here is going to be Milo, the Tuxedo Cat. More die-cast cars, the Disney 100 camera, and the creepy rabbit. Also, up here is going to be our other two Icons F1 cars, the Ayrton Senna McLaren and the Mansell Williams. And then up here, we have the Brick Shop Corvette hanging out. We have a cat wanting cat treats. You want cat treats? You're not going to get them. Coming over here to my hellhole of Hot Wheels. This was a project that I just did 10 minutes ago, and it was really tough to do. But we have our Brick Shop Mercedes. For those who say I'm being a little bit of a Lego snob, well, here's another car that's not Lego. It's the Brick Shop Honda. I really loved doing this, the Mercedes and the Corvette, and I really want to do more of them. I'm not that much of a Lego snob. Hand me a good product, I will build it. Back to Lego though, we have the Technic Ferrari on the side of my fridge. And then over here by the F1 cars, we have the Mercedes, as well as the McLaren F1. Almost forgetting is my collection of brickheads, from Harry Potter to the Transformers to Tom and Jerry to Stitch, Wall-E, Up, Toy Story. You name the franchise, it's probably up here. We even have Iron Man and Sonic. It's just a lot. Speaking of non-Lego products, here's two more. My retro computer and my retro arcade. Another two sets that are not Lego. We do have some other sets like the fall bouquet as well as the duos. And then we have my wife's flower collection over here, her Harley and her Van Gogh. And with that, guys, that does it for the tour. I think I covered everything. Oh, the bathroom. Coming in here to my bathroom, we do have the old Dreams sets in the bathroom. And a cat still wanting treats. You really want those treats, don't you? For reference, guys, the treats are right in the M&M's container, and he knows it. That's why he's here. Huh. Yeah. Still no. And one last set as I head out the door. Hidden behind the door is my wife's Birds of Paradise. As I was walking back to my desk, I did remember I have two more sets to show you guys. On my coffee table, we have The Office in a Wicked Bricks case, as well as The Maze. And of course, our giant Lego book about Star Wars, with 3 more Lego books in this area. Okay, guys, that is all of it. I'm even more tired now. And now I gotta go to editing. So guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this tour. Not gonna keep you much longer than that. If you guys watched the whole video through, thank you very much. I enjoy sharing all of this with you guys and keeping you guys up to date with what we still have versus what we don't. If you guys have been watching this series, I think this is the 8th video in the last 3.5-ish years that I've been doing the channel. And you guys can really see throughout all the episodes the cool new stuff and the cool old stuff that we no longer have. But you know what, guys? It's not about what we don't have. It's about what we do have and enjoying it for the time that we have it. And with that, that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the subscribe button to follow along with everything that we do here. As usual, share this video with a friend, hit the thumbs up, the like button, drop your comments down below. Is there any sets that you guys like? Is there any sets you have questions about? Is there anything that you guys would like any information on? Or just simply drop a comment on whatever is on your mind. I'd love to engage with you guys. Up next on the channel, well, I don't know. I do have a short coming out based on a Halloween GWP, so keep an eye out on that quick review. And on that, guys, thank you so much for watching. You all have a good one.